Mr. Stark is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank the panel for their input to this hearing. I am going to ask the chair to insert in the record the Citizens for Tax Justice initial report on 12 corporations that pay a tax rate of a negative 1.5% on $171 billion in profits and got $62 billion in tax subsidies, which does happen to include Boeing. And in the report, it says that Boeing made a profit of almost $4.5 billion in 2010 and had negative federal taxes. Same held true for 2009 and 2008. And over those 3 years, Boeing made almost $10 billion and had a negative tax rate of 1.8%. And I think in testimony that I heard earlier from Mr. Zrust that Boeing would like a lower tax rate. So how much lower a tax rate should we give Boeing? And why?
So, Mr. Stark, let me address that. Over the last 3 years, we have not paid
how much lower rate do you need now to survive?
Well, let me talk about what that's attributable to.
I know what it's attributable to.
Well, it's attributable to new products and it's investments in our workforce. So there's three things. One is contributions to our pension plan. As we know, there's two major development programs.
All companies do that. That's unusual. But how much lower rate do you need to survive?
What will happen with those items? As I mentioned before, there's things of a permanent nature and there's things that are temporary. Those same things that gave rise to low tax payments in the last 3 years are going to reverse in the next few years and result in considerable tax payments.
Oh yeah, we're going to get more from Boeing in the next few years? Did you know that, Mr. McDermott?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. How much more do you think Boeing is going to pay us in the next few years?
Well, sir, as we start delivering airplanes, the 787, for instance, that's going to result in a reversal of the inventory accounting differences that are reflected in the last 3 years that resulted in current tax deductions. It's going to result in book tax deductions, but yet not a corresponding deduction on the tax return. So that difference is going to be reflected in increased tax payments. Depending upon the magnitude of the deliveries, it's possible that the company could be paying a rate of tax in excess of the statutory rate of 35%. So this is a function of the differences in tax accounting between the Internal Revenue Code and what's mandated under generally accepted accounting principles.
You pay your taxes based on the Internal Revenue Code, don't you?
That's correct.